John, good morning. And what you saw overnight was Operation Prosperity Guard in action. That multinational coalition was formed back in December to respond to Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. And since mid-November, there have been at least 27 attacks by those Iran-backed Houthis with missiles and drones launched from Yemen at international ships in the Red Sea, which, by the way, makes up about 15% of global trade coming through that waterway. And since then, many ships have had to be rerouted the long and more expensive way around the African continent. But what you saw overnight, those strikes were led by the United States and the United Kingdom. Warships, planes, and submarines responded. U.S. Central Command says they struck 60 targets in Yemen at 16 different locations, and they used over 100 precision-guided bombs and missiles. Local reports confirmed explosions throughout Yemen, including at a military base next to the airport in the capital city of Sana'a. The Iran-backed Houthis claim 5 of their fighters were killed by allied forces, and they are doubling down on their threats to attack ships heading to Israel. Now, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, he is in his 12th consecutive day in the hospital being treated for complications from prostate cancer surgery. And he says, quote, the strikes targeted sites associated with the Houthis' unmanned aerial vehicle, ballistic and cruise missile, and coastal radar and air surveillance capabilities. The United States maintains its right to self-defense, and if necessary, we will take follow-on actions to protect U.S. forces. Pentagon Press Secretary Pat Ryder took to CBS this morning to talk about these strikes. Here's part of what he had to say.
We targeted specific facilities and capabilities intended to degrade and disrupt the Houthis' ability to conduct the kinds of attacks that we've been seeing. And so we're still conducting the battle damage assessment. Initial indications are that we had good effects.
And Ryder also said that Secretary Austin helped coordinate these strikes from Walter Reed Medical Center. Now, a senior Biden administration official says there is no intent to escalate the situation in the Middle East and that these strikes were simply meant to degrade the capability of the Houthis to carry out these reckless attacks on international shipping lanes. Now, another senior official says, quote, Iran has certainly been involved in every phase of the Houthi attacks. Now, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says these strikes were not sufficient. He wrote on X saying, quote, shooting down the Houthi drones and missiles is costly and it doesn't get to the root of the problem. Until the Biden administration confronts Iran, these attacks will continue. Now, Sean and Emma, if you recall, one of the first moves the Biden administration made was to delist the Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization. They're facing increased pressure to redesignate the Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization, but it remains unclear if they will do that even with these strikes overnight. Back to you.
All right. We appreciate that. Logan Ratick reporting from the Pentagon with the latest from there.